I've drawn the text Breakfast, which is part of The Mice and Men, both written by John Steinbeck. The story deals with contentment and hospitality as central themes. If a man is content, he does not need a house, money, nor good food. The story describes how the narrator is feeling cold and hungry and walks by a woman by accident who is preparing breakfast outside the tent. An old man and a young woman appears from the tent and they offer him to join them. They've been eating good for only 12 days and thanks God for their meal. After breakfast, the old man offers the narrator a job, but the narrator declines but thanks them for breakfast. The setting is set very early in the morning, and it's out in the nature by the mountains in like a valley, or at least like a hilly area. And John Steinbeck describes it very detailed, which is like typically him. For example, he says the eastern mountains were black-blue, but behind them the light stood up faintly colored at the mountain rims with a washed red, growing colder, grayer, and darker as it went up and overhead until at a place near the west it merged with pure light. It was cold, but not painfully cold. And he uses a lot of adjectives to describe the setting. And when the family eats breakfast, they use a packing box as a table and they sit on the ground because they don't have a chair, which is to show how like poor they actually are, and which is part of the social realism that I will talk a little bit about later. So the protagonist tells the story as one of his memories that fills him with pleasure. He finds himself recalling it again and again, and he gets really happy when the family offers him a job. He remembers the family's hospitality, and he's impressed by the simplicity, contentment, and the sincerity of the family. There's an old man who gives the main character breakfast, and he asks, "How do you have breakfast?" and offers him to join them. The family are cotton pickers and are living in a tent, kind of like gypsies, and they're very religious. They've only been eating good for 12 days, which is a long time for them, and they're really grateful to God. There's the young woman who stays. She does not say morning to the main character like the two men does, and she's the one who's preparing breakfast outside the tent. The themes in the story is contentment. If a man is happy, he does not need a house, good food, nor a job to have content. Is to show that there's no need for materialistic things. And another central theme in the story is hospitality. Because they offer the protagonist breakfast even though they don't know him and they're really poor already, but even though they have enough food for him. The story's called Breakfast, which is pretty simple because they're eating breakfast. But offering breakfast is a symbol for hospitality and contentment. John Steinbeck uses social realism and focuses on social issues and the hardships of everyday life by showing these people who's hungry and poor but still is satisfied with their life despite the lack of materialistic things. Breakfast is a criticism on materialistic modern age, particularly on city people. In the story, the writer has indirectly criticized the people who think only materialistic things can bring them happiness.